welcome to We Wine Whenever. I'm Wendy.
I'm Kelly.
And I'm Lori.
Did I startle you, Lori?
You did. You did look a little scared.
Yeah, like
You look a little scared.
We are talking about Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Season 5, Episode number 4. It's called The Epiphany.
Did you love the opening with the Laverne and Shirley reference?
Loved everything about it. Loved
I was
everything about it.
I was doing the dance.
very
I really
cute.
wasn't doing the dance, but I was
Very
singing.
cute.
I did love everything about it. Loved everything about it. And I was seeing on social media, they're saying that it's like an ad for like Visit Milwaukee.
Yeah,
Mhm.
for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, I loved it. So then it's the next morning, and we see Bronwyn's on the phone talking to her husband, Todd, about the conversation that she had in the suite with Lisa. And he was asking, were you able to straighten things out? And she's like, well, I mean, not really, but hopefully that they can move forward now that.
Bronwyn. Did you not watch the show before Bronwyn?
No,
She's
I
like,
think
can't we just have fun? No.
No.
Housewives aren't fun anymore. It's
We
all
don't do
fighting,
that.
cat fights, who's talking about who,
yeah,
who's telling who somebody else was talking about them.
right.
People messing with people's businesses. This is what Housewives is, Bronwyn.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do your research. Do better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we see Whitney goes into Mary's room and asks her, what is that tool that she's using on her hair? Mary says it's a straightening comb. Whitney looks perplexed. She's like, it's a black girl thing.
Yeah. Come on, Whitney. Get your shit together.
Listen, I just
Maybe
like,
you guys knew that, right?
Yes.
yeah.
I mean, I knew it from cosmetology school, but
Yeah,
I
no,
knew
but
it
I
from high
just like
school.
that Mary, yeah.
Yeah.
I just like that Mary and Whitney are getting along, and
yes.
I do like that. I
Me
do.
too. Me too.
And then she tells them that she's got this great day planned. They're going to go to the Miller Beer Caves factory for a private beer and cheese tasting. Next, the Harley Davidson Museum. And finally, the drag show. I'm telling you, that sounded like a great day,
Great day.
but too
Right.
much. I mean, that's
Exhausting.
exhausting. I mean, a lot of food, too, and
Yeah.
alcohol, I would imagine, right?
Yippee.
Well, yeah, a beer tasting, and then they were drinking at the Harley dinner,
Yes.
and then the drag show. Yeah, that's a lot of drinking in one day.
Yes,
Now-
that's
Even
what I was thinking.
professionals like us, that might be hard.
I just want to point out that I did not really see any food going on at the Harley place. I didn't see any food.
Well,
I
they
really
always
didn't
have
see
fake
anybody's-
dinners.
We think fake. I didn't see any food on anybody's plate. I didn't see any food.
They
Well, they
don't
had
eat.
a very nice table setting.
They did.
They did.
And I
That
know
they did.
I know I'm skipping, but since we're there, I really want to see what was in those swag bags.
From Harley? Yeah. I'm sure it was like hats and T-shirts and stuff
No,
like
but I
that, right?
I wanted
Probably.
to see it.
Yeah, I hear you. I love a swag bag.
Yeah.
Who doesn't?
Yeah, exactly.
Free stuff? Sign me up.
Yeah.
Then Meredith goes into Lisa's room while she's getting her glam done and asks her what she thinks about last night. And Meredith says, I was talking to Angie and she said, I'm having a hard time because Lisa doesn't want to talk to me. And she says, I should be careful of you. And then Whitney chimes in. Now, come on, Meredith.
She's a problem. She's a real problem.
Yes, she
best-
really is.
The best is in the confessional when Lisa, who I don't really care for, but she just says, friendship fuckers. I loved it. It was so good.
I
It was
wrote that
so
down.
good.
That's so
So good.
funny.
Yeah, she says in her confessional, they're trying to fuck with my friendship fuckers. Well, slash.
Right.
That's funny.
Oh, goodness. And then in Meredith's confessional, she says that obviously Angie and Whitney are having trouble with Lisa and they want me to join their team, but I'm not having any trouble with Lisa and we work so hard to get to the place we're at. Who are you kidding?
Yep.
Who are you kidding?
She knows too much about you, Meredith.
Yeah, that's it.
You need to protect that.
And then Whitney goes into Heather's room and Heather has the Laverne and Shirley outfits.
So cute.
I loved it. And then Heather in her confessional says she's very torn because of what Meredith told her about the jewelry. And she wants to tell Whitney, but she was hoping Meredith would tell Whitney, but she doesn't know what to do. And what would Laverne do to Shirley? Like, would Laverne tell Shirley? What would she do?
I don't know. Do you guys really buy it that they're really getting along? I don't know.
Heather and Whitney?
Mm-hmm. I don't know.
Oh, I do.
You don't? I don't know.
I do. I think that Heather and Whitney know that there's power in numbers.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Heather and Whitney both equally think that they're top dog on the show, and they feel like they need each other. So I do think they're getting along, but I do think it's for reasons for the show. Do I think they're hanging out in the off season? Hell no.
Yeah.
You don't, huh?
I don't. But that's just my personal opinion.
Okay, well, I'm glad you brought this up because I wanted to mention it at the top of this episode and I forgot. So our thoughts and prayers go out to Whitney and her family because her daughter, Bobby, was rushed to ICU over the weekend for asthma exacerbation. As of yesterday, she's still in the ICU, and Whitney said she's made a slight turn, but it's going to be a long road.
That's terrible.
Yes, and she's only 14 years old. So
very scary.
Hopefully Heather is there for her.
That would be nice.
Because this is the off season for her, so hopefully her cousin's there for her. And our prayers are with them.
Louise. Did Andy Cohen mention it at all on Watch What Happens Live last night?
He did not.
I mean, maybe
no. You know what? I didn't watch What Happens Live. That's the one with Mary. That's the one with Mary.
And listen, if he didn't, I mean, maybe Whitney hadn't released it yet, so he might not have even known. I was just curious because Salt Lake aired last night, and I was just curious if he would have mentioned it. That's all.
Whitney, actually, it's funny because I did see she did put a post like, thank you for because I think it came out on page 6 first. And then she said, thank you for, the prayers. And that's when she said that, she did make a slight turn.
Yeah.
So we will keep them in our prayers. Then what happened?
Well, Lisa asks Miele, who's Whitney's friend. Whitney just supposedly brought her on the show to go curling with her. And then Brittany's like, well, I'm going to go too.
Well, because first Whitney goes into Lisa's room and tells her what's on the agenda. And Lisa's like, oh, no, I'm going to pass. And Whitney's like, but why? I don't want to go. And like you said, then she hijacked Britani and Miele. Yeah. And they went curling.
Which was produced, I think.
Oh, it was totally produced.
Yeah.
And did you see that she used to be a figure skater?
Yes. Miele.
Oh, yes.
My brother's girlfriend used to be
that curling cracks me up. I watched it on the Olympics one year. Eric and I were like, what
are they doing?
I've never seen this before.
Yeah.
I know Lisa said she's done so much sweeping and, she doesn't want her family to get any ideas like she's going to be doing that at home.
So funny.
I don't think they will. I think you're safe, Lisa.
Yeah.
I think you're safe. So then they get on, they go on the Sprinter van. Angie says, I'm not good with Lisa either. Whitney says the only thing that makes sense, because they want to know why Lisa wasn't coming. The only thing that makes sense is that Meredith, did you tell her what we talked about last night? And Meredith's like, yeah, I did.
Thank God she admitted, because holy cow, I was literally sitting there waiting for her to just completely ignore it and not say what she did.
No, yeah. So then they get to the beer place, and Ben is their beer expert. So funny. He asks if everyone has had beer before, and Mary's like, no, I've never had beer. And he's like, well, do you like champagne? And we know that she likes her Dom Perignon. I forget, what year was it?
2003.
2003. 2003. That was it.
2003. Did you hear her explanation of why?
Why she likes Dom Perignon 2003?
There was a heat wave. 5,600 people died. It was the best year for the
grapes.
Whatever.
She just said that this time?
They flashed back to her saying it, and I don't remember her saying that.
Oh, that's so funny. I missed it both times.
5,600 people died. And it was the best year for that.
It's so funny. She's so funny.
You're married.
So as soon as he tells her that, and then she tastes it, and she's like, I like it. Like, this is good. Like, this is regal.
Yes,
regal.
This is regal. That's what she said.
Regal.
This is regal.
Great.
I was like, she's like, there's an upscale beer. This is Regal.
And it's Miller.
I'm
Yeah.
it's Miller.
Like
It's
she
what-
needs to have like a Chimay.
She
Like
needs
she
to have
needs to
some-
have a good
yeah.
beer.
Yeah, like a good
And
Polish
then he
beer.
gives her other ones, and she's loving them too. I was like, Mary, all she
I do
got
like
to
a
do.
beer if I'm really thirsty.
Yeah.
Like nothing quenches your thirst like a
Like a
good
nice-
cold
yep.
beer, right?
Like a nice summer shady.
Yeah.
Nice.
I don't like beer.
I like a pumpkin ale too. I'm a big
Oh.
pumpkin girl.
I just think it's funny with Mary. Like, you give her a label or give her something that she thinks is like upper echelon, and she's all over it.
Yes. Yes. Which
Right?
is why I thought it was hysterical that she
Right.
said that Miller was Regal.
Miller. Exactly. Miller of all things. It's like the Meisterbrow. I mean, did
Yes.
they even make Meisterbrow?
I don't think they
I
do
don't know.
anymore. Or what was the other one? My
Let's.
neighbor used to drink it. I'll think of it.
Oh, Schlitz. That was another one too.
Like, it
Yeah.
might have been
Yeah.
that.
Might have been just like.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Was there red on the box?
Yes.
Was that PBR? Pabst Blue Ribbon? How about that one?
I remember Pabst. Yeah.
I think it's
I don't know.
Schlitz stuff.
So
All right, we're
funny.
talking about cheap beer.
Exactly.
Yeah, Mary.
Might as well go down that Mad Dog 2020 road too.
Mhm.
How about when Lisa called Jared a D-list husband?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That was hysterical.
Well, because they're out there, and Brittany's like, "Oh, I missed a text from him." It's like, come on.
She is making herself look desperate.
Horribly
Yeah,
desperate.
she is.
What are you doing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they're looking at the text message, and they're like, "Oh, there's all these red flags. He says that we're, your friends."
Yeah.
Uh.
Lisa is the ultimate hype girl, though. Like, we all need a Lisa when
I
it
don't-
comes to that. She's like, you're beautiful. What's wrong with you? You're this. You don't need him. He's a D-list husband.
Listen, I don't need Lisa. I'll find another hype girl. She drives me crazy. I'm sorry.
In that respect, though,
Yeah, she is a hype girl, but she still drives me crazy.
I know.
And then Bronwyn talks about how Todd used to work at the beer place, the beer cave.
That was great.
And then she goes on to say that before she was born, he worked there. Like, why does she have to keep throwing that in things?
I actually have that written down, too. I feel like she just can't stop talking about it. And then when Brittany asks her, she gets offended when somebody
Yeah, we'll get there. Exactly.
Yeah,
We will get there. It's weird.
It's stop talking about the age difference.
Yeah, it is weird.
It is weird. And then Ben, they start asking about like ghost stories. So then Ben's going to take them to another room to tell, the bartender's going to tell them ghost stories. And Whitney and Heather are going to stay behind a minute
Well, you
because
know what?
Heather now wants to tell.
Yes, but then it's kind of like Heather doing her own producing. Come on.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, she did need to tell her cousin. It was her cousin, and she was hoping that Meredith would tell her, and Meredith didn't tell her. So I think it was her place to tell her, and I think it was right that she didn't do it in the whole group.
That's true.
No, I think that she did the right thing by waiting for everybody. But I agree that it was produced where it was like, okay, you guys are going to go listen to ghost stories, and you two are going to sit here and talk about blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
But you have,
Right.
Right.
I mean, they had to get it out, and
Yeah.
it shouldn't have been in the group.
right.
And, Whitney obviously is very upset, and she goes off about, how Meredith never supported her, and, she's always come for her, and she's the gatekeeper of everything. And Heather just begs her, do not say anything on the Sprinter van. Do not say anything on the Sprinter van. So she doesn't on the first
Not yet.
Sprinter, not on the first Sprinter run. And then that Sprinter van run is when Miele calls Whitney and says that, they're back. And I thought for sure that's when it was going to come out, but it didn't. And Whitney's all upset with her because she never even told her she wasn't coming, and she just didn't show. She went
And it's
doing.
weird.
It was weird. It was weird.
It's like not showing up for the helicopter.
Right.
But this
Right.
is even worse. You're on
Yeah.
a trip with somebody. They just invited you into a group of friends.
Right.
Yeah, and you're going to ditch her.
Millie.
And I
Right.
thought
It is
What a-
weird.
I thought it was great when they were in the bar and the bartenders were going to tell them the ghost stories. And Mary Cosby's got to talk about her stupid Jeffrey Dahmer shit with her father. The look on the bartender's faces was just that's
And
great.
who said it? Was it Angie? She's like, I don't care what this guy's about to tell us. Nothing's as scary as what Mary just said.
It's true, though. So Whitney tells her, listen, we have to leave in an hour, so make sure everyone gets ready because, we have the van that's going to be taking us to Harley. And Whitney talks about how, I didn't realize how into Harley Davidson she was, that she's a Harley girl and that, they did this special for her, and which is great.
Yeah, I didn't know she rode Harleys. I thought that was very interesting.
Yeah, I didn't know anything. I didn't know anything about that.
Yeah.
We find out all kinds of stuff. Drag queens, Harleys.
Well, it's very interesting because Tamara Judge said that she was the only housewife that was a Harley girl, that rode Harleys.
So nanny, haha, she's not.
Right, nanny, haha.
Well, because, she was talking to Margaret about that because Margaret rides on the back of Joe's.
Right, but doesn't ride her own.
Doesn't ride her own, right.
Yeah.
So they get on the bus to go to the Harley place or the van, and Whitney brings it up and says, people are starting rumors that I buy my pieces from Alibaba. And Meredith says, yeah, that was me. She owned it again.
Exactly.
She did own it again.
This is a different side of Meredith that we're seeing.
Now, he says, well, why didn't you call me? Meredith says, you didn't want to hear from me.
True.
Go ahead, Laura.
But even with her, when she was talking to Heather in the beer cave, she did kind of sort of skirt around the issue. She never really said, no, I don't buy anything from Alibaba. She just said, it's commerce. And like, if you watch it again, she kind of skirted around it.
She said she curated it and she designed her pieces.
She did say something about commerce. I didn't
understand
what she meant by that.
She didn't say anything about that she curated the pieces. She said that they're curated from vendors and blah, blah, blah. But she never said, no, I don't buy my stuff from Alibaba. Just saying.
I mean, I feel like her reaction tells us that she doesn't, but I don't know.
Who knows? Maybe we'll find out before the season's over. Right?
Yeah,
maybe.
I'm sure we will.
I just find it interesting that, this was her trip she planned. The Harley Davidson was her thing. And then she brings it up before they get there.
I know. Normally it's the person who's throwing the event asking, please don't start a scene. It's
right.
For the love of God, you're on Housewives. You host these events, so there will be a scene.
Yeah.
And so she puts it out there, and then she's like, okay, they pull up in front of the place. All right, can we put a pin in this for now? I love Harley, and this is special just for us. I'm like, wait, what?
I know.
Put a pin in it until I bring it up again.
Exactly.
Yes.
So they meet Bill Davidson. He's the VP of Harley, and she calls him the modern day prophet of Harley Davidson.
God.
I was like, what? So his great-grandfather in 1903 started the business with his brothers and their friend Bill Harley, and they built their first Harley. They have 120 motorcycles, and they've been in business 121 years. I guess 120 different motorcycles. I guess that's styles.
Well, probably
a
model from each year.
Like a Corvette.
Yeah.
Right. So at this point, Bronwyn in her confessional says, I am surprised with these women. It was like a full-on assault in the Sprinter van. And then all of a sudden, she's right. Then they're on their best behavior. It's like Jekyll and Hyde.
Yeah, this is Housewives.
It really is interesting, especially if you're seeing it on the inside. We're watching it, but I can't imagine sitting there
firsthand
watching this go on, because you can you can see the looks on their faces.
Well, it's very cringy, when there's a waiter there or, somebody else there, a driver.
Yes.
I had it written down.
You're
yeah. I had it written down with Bronwyn said, what are we in the upside down? Did you guys watch Stranger Things?
Yes.
Yeah,
I thought that was
she
great.
did say
That
that.
was a
Yeah.
great comment. Great comment.
So then they're sitting down at the dinner, and Whitney, she has a gift. She said, I want to give everyone one of my custom designs. And she hands them all out. And she says to Meredith, if you really cared about me, you would have called me. So now she brings it up again at the
Right.
Harley dinner. That is
Right.
so important to her.
I'm sorry. Actually, two things. Mary never has glam with her, but always looks amazing. They always show Mary doing her own hair and makeup, and she always looks amazing. So kudos, Mary.
Yeah.
The second thing is, did you see the big ass Louis Vuitton bag that Whitney was carrying around with her in the
I think
Harley Davidson?
her change of clothes for the drag show.
Yes, it
Okay.
did. Yeah,
I'm
I
like,
did notice
can't
that.
be her everyday pocketbook, for crying out loud. It's bigger than her.
No. I didn't notice the bag that Bronwyn was carrying, but it must have been huge based on what she was wearing.
Oh my God, that was so funny when Mary was like, "That's a costume."
She's right.
Just saying, that's a costume.
And since we're there, I just want to tell you that when she came out with what she was wearing to the drag show, it's like,
The hot dog outfit?
yeah, it's like, and then I got it afterwards.
You got it?
Yeah, I got it. It's a penis.
That's
the hot dog. There,
Yeah.
I got it. Yes, don't tell me it's
A
not about
wiener.
that.
She was a wiener.
I'm all in. Yes. Yeah.
Oh, that's
She was a
stupid.
wiener at a drag show.
Yeah. Come on.
That's
It is pretty
ridiculous.
clever.
No, I think it's ridiculous. I think she was ridiculous.
It was horrible. Absolutely.
I
horrible.
totally agree with you.
Why didn't you give us the designer of that?
Right. Well, she said she saw it on a runway.
Yeah.
So that means it's true?
I mean, all they talk about is couture, couture, couture.
We're going to have to.
Listen, just because you see it on a runway does not mean it's going to translate into everyday Salt Lake City life.
No.
Well, maybe Salt Lake City, maybe
Or
just not
Milwaukee.
New Jersey.
Maybe not
Or
Milwaukee.
Maybe not Milwaukee.
We're going to have to look it up and see if it really was.
She says she saw it on a runway.
I don't
Yes,
care
I
what she said.
remember
I
her
don't
saying
believe
that.
her. But
I
I'm going to
don't
look it
believe
up. Maybe, maybe she'll prove me wrong. But before we get there, they're back at the table and Lisa's inserting herself in this conversation between Whitney and Meredith.
Yeah. What is she
Hard.
doing?
For
Inserting
no
herself
reason.
hard. Like, yeah, for absolutely no reason. And Whitney's trying to say, like, let me talk to her.
Yeah. I don't understand why she was jumping in there.
No.
Lisa is just coming hard for Whitney is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
She's mad at Whitney and she just wants to come for Whitney. So if Meredith is going to pile on, she's going to jump on that bandwagon. That's what I felt like she was doing.
And Meredith doesn't communicate. Like, Meredith will just get up and walk away because she can't.
She'll
she can't hang.
disengage.
Yeah, she can't because she can't handle it. Not because she's too good for it. But, they're all doing the same thing to each other, but then calling each other out on doing the same thing to each other. Right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think we know why Angie has sent her snowflake now, though.
Yeah, we certainly do.
She buried Lisa in that. Buried her.
But
Yeah.
it was overly dramatic with the standing up and the chair.
The chair?
And stuff. It was very
Did
kindergarten.
she kick that chair back?
It
I
was
was like,
not.
oh.
Yeah, it was not good. It's not good. It was not warranted. It was just overly. It was overdone.
I thought it was interesting. Like, who thinks to stand up and kick the chair back?
I think what happened was she was standing there and the chair was like right up against her legs and she probably like couldn't move, like, because then her hands started flying and like she didn't have room to really express herself. So that's why she kicked the chair out.
She was getting.
That
her
would make
Greek
sense
on.
because normally,
Yeah, she was getting her Greek on.
because normally they go lunge towards the person they're yelling at, not like kicking back. I thought, well, that's interesting.
I think she had to make room for herself to really start expressing
So
herself.
she could get really closer to her and more like, yeah.
Lisa just seems like an exhausting friend, though. Like if she said I talk to her 3 times a day, listen, of course you're going to say, I would say Jesus is calling me. I got to go. Like,
Gotta let the dog out.
cannot sit on the phone with you any longer, Lisa, because damn well she's just sitting there talking about herself.
Well, that's it.
In not any part of that conversation did Lisa say, how are you, Angie?
Then to drop her daughter's name.
Yeah, that was wrong. That was wrong. And when Angie said, I am an engaged mother, I'm a very involved mother, you saw the look on Lisa's face.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was kind of I don't know what kind of mother Lisa is, but it seemed like a bit of a dig.
How do you like Mary being the peacemaker?
Yeah.
Do you see her
Like
face,
Mary.
though? Her face. Then she says, it's very emotional. You do love each other, you two. I was like,
Yeah.
preach, Mary, preach.
Yep. And
I'm
then
liking
Brittany
Mary.
gets up and has to. I'm liking Mary a lot this season. I think it's a great comeback season for her.
You know, I saw her on
Because
Watch What Happens Live.
last season, it was hard to watch. She was always complaining. And, you know, I saw an interview on Facebook with her and somebody who was interviewing her. And we haven't seen it yet, but there's going to be a scene this season where she's talking to her son and they both start crying. And she's explaining to the guy who's interviewing her that I don't want to say he was under the influence of a substance.
He was.
I felt like that's what she was alluding to, but I have no idea if that's true.
Yes, that is true.
But he felt like he didn't want to be here anymore. And she started crying in the interview, and they showed the scene of she and him crying together. I got to be honest with you. It was like a different side of Mary that I don't think any of us have seen before. It was very touching. I feel awful that they were going through that, but
yeah,
it was very honest of her. She was so honest.
Yeah, he got a driving under the influence for fentanyl, marijuana, and I think and cocaine. And then he was supposed to go, like they mandated that he go to a rehab. And I think he just kind of blew it off and didn't go. And then he missed like a court date because he did go to a rehab. And that's why when we see her say, oh, he's home, he's not going to school, he's not working, it's because he's back from rehab. And he's not
hopefully
legally
he's
married.
doing well.
Yeah, he's not.
Right. I saw her say that as well.
Say that. But on Watch What Happens Live, she was saying,
well, we wish him nothing but the best.
Yes.
We'll say prayers for him because
Yes.
that's a horrible road to have to go
Yeah.
down.
She was
For
saying
him
how
and for her.
she is much happier this season. She did say it, so I guess that's why she's.
So maybe
she's
last
better.
season, maybe she was in the midst of dealing with all of that with her son, but we didn't know. That makes sense.
I think that's it.
Yeah, it does make sense. It does make sense.
And then Brittany has to announce that she's broken up with what's his face, Jared. He doesn't know yet.
And that she's had an epiphany.
Right. Again.
Right. And then Heather's like, oh. And then we see all the epiphanies that she's had for the same subject.
Mary says, I want my 5 minutes back.
Yeah. It's great.
That's what she said. They're going to be back together in 5 minutes. I want my 5 minutes back. And then the producers ask Brittany if she's told Jared yet that they broke. Nope. No, she has not.
I thought when she started.
Go ahead, Laura.
When she started going, for Bronwyn, I was like, "Oh, you're out of your league." I knew Bronwyn was going to come back
out of
at
her
her
league.
and just like whip her ass with words. I was just like, "What? You swim with sharks? What are you doing? What are you doing?"
When Bronwyn said, "Does anybody else have any questions about my husband's dick?"
Great.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a bit of a mic drop moment.
It was good.
She did eat her up with her words.
She did eat her up
with her words.
So that this all happened because Heather says, because he's an Osmond, he's like royalty. When he walks into the room, everyone wants to know if he lives on Osmond Lane. And she's like, no, she's really in love with him. I mean, she really is in love with him. That's when Bronwyn asks her. That's why she went after. Bronwyn says, well, are you in love with him or his name?
Right.
And, that's a harsh thing to say. She said she was in love with him.
Right.
Heather's the one who said it was about his name and who he was. She never.
Yeah.
So that's when she asked, I thought it was hysterical when she said, what's your husband's name?
You're accusing me of being a gold. You don't even know my husband's name.
I don't know.
And by the way, hasn't he come out and said like they weren't even together? He agreed to be her boyfriend on the show or something like that. Like a Roger situation for Kenya, her first year on Atlanta. Remember the refrigeration guy?
He came out on he came out on social media before this actually came out and said that. But again, I don't know if that's true or not.
Right.
Who knows?
I know. He could just be saying that to save face.
Right, right.
She does look like a high schooler, though.
Yeah, she does. She does. I agree. I really agree.
This is like, it's like watching my high school relationship play out on reality TV.
Yeah, it's not good.
But she's 40.
I do think it's interesting, though, that at the end, too, before she said about his dick, she doesn't have a prenup. Now, what well-established, smart businessman would not get a prenup?
Bronwyn said that, right?
Yes, she doesn't have a prenup.
I thought that was crazy.
Right. Like, what?
Yeah, I don't know what
It
that's
doesn't.
all.
That doesn't make sense, does it?
No, that math is not math.
Not at all.
Right?
No, that math is not mapping.
I mean, it's not like, I don't know. I thought
Somebody said it, though. They're like, maybe his first wife got everything and he doesn't yet.
I don't know.
But I thought that was wild. That
She's got enough money for a couture hot dog outfit, so I don't know.
she said she brought money into the marriage too, right?
Well, she said she was in finance. She said she was in the financial industry when she met him. And she has a real relationship with him. She really loves him. She's not going to take him to the cleaners.
Right.
And it's like, come on.
Yeah, that was wild to me that they
Yeah, it's
don't have a
pretty
prenup.
And then Meredith in her confessional says, this is some very personal information. And then she's like, well, Seth and I decided to get a post-nup, but that's when things were kind of dicey.
I agree with Meredith. Like,
It is personal information.
That is personal. Because, I don't know. I mean, we've seen people talk about it on Housewives a lot. It came up on Jersey.
No, it does get talked about a lot.
But I guess, like, for a lot of the Housewives, you would do it to protect yourself because you are on TV and people do know who you are and somebody will seek you out like a Brooks.
Like a
and
Louis.
take advantage of you. Louis, for sure. I mean, 100%. But in her case, obviously, that's
right.
It flipped. But yeah, I thought that was wild that they didn't have one. But again, it's nobody's business. Maybe he's got plenty to go around.
Yeah, maybe. And then Whitney comments that she doesn't like that Brittany's doing this, calling her, this stereotypical gold digger, because she said she got that because Justin and her have a big age difference too. And she felt like, just because there's an age difference doesn't mean you're a gold digger.
Right.
I mean, it doesn't. You're right. It doesn't mean you're a gold digger.
No.
So
I know plenty of people.
Yeah. When I was watching Watch What Happens Live with Mary Cosby, they asked her if she thought that Meredith Marks was kind of retaliating against Whitney in regards to the jewelry thing. And Mary said, yeah.
Yeah. Mary's got Whitney's back.
Mm-hmm. And she also
That's
said that,
great.
I think Andy asked her, about her and Whitney. And she said that Whitney apologized to her and her husband. And she felt after that's when her relationship with her took a big turn.
Okay.
Why did Whitney need to apologize to Mary's husband? Oh,
She called them predators.
Yes.
Oh. After
called
she
them
went
predators.
to church with them? That time she went to church?
Remember, it came up on the
Yeah.
trip
Now I
last
remember.
year.
Yeah, now I remember that.
Mary said it was something else. She called it something else. She called it pedophiles.
Yeah. Yes.
It did, Mary.
You called us a pedophile or something. And Whitney was like, no, I didn't. It was a predator.
I saw the first couple minutes of Watch What Happens Live, and Andy did ask Mary if we were going to see Robert Sr. at all. And she said, oh, not yet. And he said, I don't know how she phrased it, but she said that, do you remember what she said, Lori?
She said
something about like
he's not happy about the or he holds a grudge against.
He's not.
Yeah,
he holds a grudge. Yeah. He holds a grudge. And at first I thought a grudge with like her. And then Andy goes with Bravo. And Mary's like, well, he's like, producers, me? And she's like, well, not you. But yeah, like he doesn't like the way he was, portrayed.
I don't blame him.
No,
but
and
you were her step grandfather.
Like,
so that's right.
Two things can be true. He was her step grandfather, but Bravo did. I mean, they produced that to make it look as salacious as they could.
Right.
Definitely. So, we were speculating, like, where is he? Is he still in Las Vegas? So maybe he's there. We're just not seeing him because he doesn't want to be on camera.
Yeah,
Right,
he could be at the house.
Right.
Do they still have their church?
They haven't had their church for a while.
Well, no, they do, because she was just saying.
No.
She
said it on Watch What Happens Live?
She said it just got refurbished. They redid all the pews, all the carpeting. So, yes. Yes.
So I wonder, now, somebody said she was suing two people from her church, right? For stealing money?
She is.
Yep. Okay, so they must have maybe settled that lawsuit, and
maybe
now they can
the
rebuild, or,
Yeah, I don't know.
If somebody stole that much money, maybe they were like in a hole and they couldn't proceed.
She made it sound like
I think the lawsuit
settled, and
I think the lawsuit's new. I don't think that lawsuit is settled.
No,
how do we find out about it?
I'll find out about it. But that is a new thing. Wendy's right. That lawsuit is a new thing.
The
lawsuit's new. Yeah.
Okay. I thought they said it on the show, and I'm thinking, well,
No, Lori told us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lori told us about it, but Heather McDonald went there last year. Like, she went to the church. She physically went there, and she announced that it was closed, like it wasn't open. That's why I said the church isn't open, and she announced it on her show.
So maybe it was closed and they were doing virtual
or renovating it.
Right.
Maybe
while they were renovating it.
And Mary made it sound like that the reason why it hasn't been shown is that was Bravo's decision to not show her church. So she said
they did at one point, though.
Yeah, but
we saw the inside of it at least once.
Right, but she said the reason why it hasn't
choir
been
practice
shown
or something
again was kind of Bravo's decision. But she said it's getting remodeled and blah blah blah. So we'll see.
Well, there were allegations at one point that they were, stealing money not stealing money, but manipulating people into giving them a lot of money, and maybe
taking out mortgages on their homes.
Yeah, and maybe Bravo was like, "Yeah, we're not gonna film there."
Right. Well,
we don't need to be named in any additional lawsuits.
This is the thing. Part of Mary's mother or grandmother, when she started the church, she was in a lot of different things. She also has a mortgage. She had a mortgage company also, and that is a division of the church that the people who were stealing the money worked in. So there's a whole tie-in with that. Yeah, there's a whole tie-in with that whole thing.
All right, I'm going to say this, but I'm not making any allegations. But it sounds like the guy from the TikTok dancers.
Oh. Yeah.
Right? Didn't he do the same thing?
Mm-hmm.
He had a church, and then he started businesses like that.
Yep.
Yes.
I mean, I'm not making any allegations.
Right.
But mortgages and church don't really seem to go together.
No, it's not good.
No, it is not good. Did you see Jen Shah's sentence just got lessened again?
No.
Now she's getting out, I think, December 19th, 2027. It was supposed to be 2028. They just lowered her sentence again. This is the second time it's happened.
For what? Like good behavior?
I have no idea. That I don't know, but I do know that they just lowered her sentence.
Wow.
And then I saw a meme up, I think it was, she's coming back 3 years, season 8. Season 8, Jen Shah returns.
She won't be back. But I'm going to say this. The brown girls get treated differently by Bravo. I've said it before. I'm saying it again. The only difference I'll say between she and Teresa is that Teresa screwed banks out of money and Jen Shah screwed innocent people out of money. So maybe that's what Bravo's defense will be, but I don't know, Bravo. I see a lot of difference.
Yeah. We'll have to wait and see. Maybe she'll get it reduced even more.
Yeah.
So to kind of
once they kicked her out of BravoCon.
Yeah, that's true.
It,
so then we didn't even get there. Then they go to the drag show. We've just gone off on our tangents. They go to the drag show.
I don't even have anything about that.
They go to the drag show, and it was very short, to be quite honest with you. But Whitney says her love and fascination with drag started when she was a little girl. And
Weird.
she loves supporting drag queens. She always has. She feels like it brings the community together. And then it ends up with all the housewives get up and they have like a dance off on stage.
Oh, I did see that. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Lisa has no rhythm. No rhythm.
No, she
I don't
does
think
not.
any of them did.
No.
Did any of them?
Mary,
Mary.
and the crowd loved Mary for chanting her name. I loved it.
Yeah.
Mary can move.
Angie, maybe a little bit. Was Angie twerking?
Yeah, but it was not.
No, huh?
It's not. There's not a lot of seasoning
Not
going
good.
on there.
I didn't even see Meredith dance. Did you see Meredith dance?
I don't think Meredith can dance. That would be my guess. If I had to say, can Meredith?
Yeah, I would think.
Yeah, she probably
no.
just didn't even attempt.
I think she would have no rhythm.
Yeah.
All right. I guess that's it for now. Until next time, thank you for watching and listening to Rewind Whenever. Please like, follow, and share. And 5 stars reviews would be great as well.
Mm-hmm.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.